Hello everyone, Warhammer here, and welcome back to the Bretonnia campaign for Mortal Empires, using the Closer to Tabletop overhaul. Now so far, the beginning of the campaign has gone quite well. We've taken Marienburg, we eliminated the Skull Smashers tribe from Grunzint, burning the settlement to the ground, and we're in a position now to continue our campaign against the Marienburgs over at Gorsel. Now I figured we can go after them and take it, since technically the Wastelands, as far as I'm concerned, don't belong to the Empire, so I feel quite justified in going after them and taking it for myself. But first of all, we need to get my troops out of here. Because of the high level of vampiric corruption in Grunzint, courtesy of the Barrow Legion, we're not going to have much good if we just keep them here and dying off, so we're going to move them out. Now I would like to take them back to Marienburg, but we do need a few extra units I think, so I'm going to move them back to begin with. Back to Corian, so we can get some recruitment going. There we go, and we can get some replenishment, not as much as if we actually probably moved to Marienburg, but every little bit's going to help, isn't it? And let me see, we don't have to worry about replenishment because we're going to be doing that now anyway. But first I want to spend my money on upgrading Corian. So we can get a few buildings, but my first priority is actually building the livery here. So this will give me paladins, and it will also allow me to get my first knightly units, knight errants. They're not going to be as good as Grail Knights or even Knights of the Realm, but we will have to start off somewhere. So that's going to take a few turns, and we'll be able to get that done. But we do have enough money for one more settlement, even though we've got 2 building slots. So what do I want to get? Let me see in fact. We've got a few options. We can't go for any of the landmark buildings, which I'm definitely going to be going for once we get to tier 5. So we have to leave that for the moment. We can get clay pits to get a bit more income. Hang on, what's these? Grand Levy. Prosperous duchies or emergency midsummer levies can provide a huge reserve of peasants to accompany the knights on campaign. So we pay 100 maintenance costs, but we can recruit hordes. Oh my. Now, one of these sub-mods for the Closer to Tabletop overhaul, or Boyz Will Be Boyz as it's now known as, is the option that some factions, not all of them, especially the ones like Lizardmen, High Elves, and believe Dwarves or Dark Elves may not be able to get them, but a number of other factions can recruit hordes, which are basically very large size units of standard ones in the game. So this one, for example, will allow me to get peasant bowmen with probably maybe 300, 200 or more, 300, 400 units in it rather than just 120. But, and if we get this one, oh wow, we can get Knight of the Realm hosts. Oh, this will be fantastic. I mean, yeah, we have 220 in each unit. Knight of the Realm will have a cavalry unit of 90 men in it. That is going to be epic to eventually get. Definitely have to consider getting those. But for now we can't afford it. I'm not going to upgrade this because just getting shields is all well and good, but we need to have a smithy anyway. So what do we want to get maybe from here? Getting a Grail Shrine will give me eventually Knights of the Cleansing Flame, but we need support religious errantry first. I'll have to look into that. We can get a Carpenter's Workshop that will give me trebuchets, peasant bowmen, and with fire arrows and pox arrows. Or the smithy to get those ones with shields once we upgrade the men-at-arms training field. Or we can go for one of these. Getting the extra control would be quite nice. But I think we're okay for now. Let's go for the Carpenter's Workshop. I'll probably swap it around because I remember there is a province to the south that will make things cheaper thanks to having wood as a trade resource. But for now, that will give me access to be able to use this to get some decent bowmen, so we're going to go for that. Oh, we do need to upgrade it though. There's 1,800 we don't have right now. We'll get it soon, don't worry. Oh, actually, we can't recruit this because we need to get a windmill, and we can't do that until we upgrade this to tier 2. Now we'll get it anyway. Getting extra trebuchets is never a bad thing. In the meantime, we need a few more units. Now we can go for mounted yeomen, which is all well and good, but I'm not too fussed about them right now. I'd rather wait until we can actually get knights. So we'll get a unit of these, and we're going to go for some men-at-arms here. There we go. 2 turns, and then that will be done. We'll continue getting a bit of replenishment. It shouldn't be too long for these to get back to fighting strength, especially if we put them in a town. Although we do want to consider going after this Marienburg force at Gorsel before it gets too big. All things to think about, I'm sure. In the meantime, let's have a quick look. Is there anything we can do over on the diplomacy? Leoness, you have actually become extremely weak. Oh, hang on. The Red Duke's there. Let me check out what's going on down there. Oh, that's what's going on. Okay, so among my mod collection, I've got one of Mixu's ones that makes the Red Duke his own character with his own skill tree in that properly. And also another one of his which actually makes Musalon into a fairly unique faction. So they can recruit, I believe they can get some, some Bretonnian units as well as their own sort of regiments of renown, like the Black Rail Knights and things. So definitely going to consider playing as them myself in the future, but yeah. Leoness is not long for this world, but I wonder if I can get any cash out of them in the meantime.
Welcome to fair Bretonnia.
I mean, they're quite willing to do a lot of stuff because of their bad position. So tell you what, let's go for this one. Let's see, let's go this. How much money can I grab out of you for doing all of this? See, that's moderate. What happens if I offer this as well? Okay. So we've got a military alliance we're not actually going to keep because they're going to probably die next turn. But at least that's giving me some cash. Carcassonne, can we do anything with you? Not yet. But that will be nice. I do want to get Carcassonne on my side and eventually confederate them. So let me offer you a gift as homage, as tribute to the lady. A trinket which shall place with the other baubles in the vaults of Kuyon. Oh, so it's just going to drop it back in my vault anyway, but I can't use it. Typical. Alright, well that's that, but we do have some more cash now, so what I can do is, let's get another unit, I think. We'll get one of these, and we'll get one more. Let's go for another unit of spearmen. There we go, that will boost things up. We've got a 19 stack then. Nicely done. Alright, let's check out technology. We're one turn away from getting that done. Oh, this is the one I need. So once we've unified Bretonnia, we can go for overseas diplomacy to give me diplomatic relations with High Elves and Lizardmen. And this one will give me extra ones with the Bretonnia factions down to the south in Araby. Assuming they're still alive by the time we get to this point. That's definitely something to think about anyway. But one more turn, we'll get this done, and then we're going to go after the Chivalric Code. And we'll see what happens next. Now, once I've dealt with Marienburg, what I'm thinking about doing is going after Musalon, defeat them, and then hopefully we should be able to claim Leoness back. We're not going to try and re-establish them or anything, we're just going to take it for ourselves. But we'll sort that out, and then we'll continue with gaining Bretonnia and uniting it. Now, as was mentioned by long-time commenter Bacala down in the comments of the last video, that it would be a good idea to confederate with as many of them as possible rather than trying to secure military alliances. If we can unite Bretonnia underneath my faction, then that does give me the option to go off elsewhere. And I will be asking you guys to comment in the video comments once we get to that point about where should we go. We'll have a number of options. We can go against the Dark Elves, the Norscan factions up to the north, the Tomb Kings down to the south, which I think I may do anyway because of the Bretonnian factions that are present down there. You know, the Order of the Holy Flame, that sort of thing. That would be quite an interesting matchup to do. But we're going to go into the Badlands in order to fight the Orcs. We can go chasing after Skaven. We've got so many options to do in a Mortal Empires campaign. And once we unite Bretonnia, I will keep playing this campaign until I think it's no longer that fun. Basically, because I'm not going to worry about trying to go for any of the victory conditions, because that's going to take such a long time. But it'd be definitely something to think about. And there's Leoness eliminated. So at least we managed to get what money we could out of them beforehand. But now, more importantly, Musalon is starting to expand. That's not too good, to say the least. Sea Corps. Right. We could go after Gorsel this way and get there in one turn. Or 2 turns, I should say, but we are going to be invading enemy allied territory. Screw it. It kind of needs to be done, so we're going to do it. I'll tell you what, let's pop in here. We'll get some higher replenishment this way. And then what we'll do, we'll allow them in a way to come towards us. I mean, if they want to try and do it that way, that will be fine by me. In the meantime, let's have a look. We do need to get this upgraded. Let's have a look. Getting a tap room would be quite useful. Let's get that. Reason being is that it does give me not only extra control, which is my public order here in my domain, but it also gets it for anywhere nearby. So we get a bunch of them, and then everyone's going to basically secure each other. So very useful in the long run. Alright, plus we're going to get that sorted thanks to the massive boost here. Now, what do we need? We need two population surplus to get up to a town. And then we can upgrade it then to that for an extra 500 income. Very useful.
You seek the lady's favor.
Might have been better if we just merged some of the units and just recruited some new ones instead. I mean, at this point, they're not exactly the best units. I mean, they're pretty low experience. I am trying to help out a bit by giving Leon Kerr the red skill tree first to improve my peasant units, because that's going to help here in the early game. Eventually, once we get access to foot squires and what have you, we'll be able to hopefully swap them around so the foot squires will be my main line. But I don't know yet whether or not they count as a core choice or a special. So if they are a special, then they're going to be competing with units like Creston Knights, Trebuchets and the like. And I'm sorry, but those are going to win out basically over foot squires for the most part. But if they do count as a core choice, then we can basically eliminate all the peasants and men-at-arms, apart from the bowmen, out of our armies and replace them with foot squires. Might have to check it out if we can. Oh no, we can't check it until we actually recruit. That's probably the only way we can do it. Oh well, we'll see what happens. But we'll probably have 2 turns now to get to Marienburg. We'll see how it's going to work. It may be better if I could just wait a turn inside the... who owns this, in fact? Middenland. Okay, we may have a word with Middenland to see if they're willing to open negotiations before we cross over. But I am tempted just to let them build up and try and come out so we don't have to deal with whatever the garrison is here. I mean, it's only, what, 5 units? But every little bit's going to help, isn't it? Yeah, just let them wait here. That's 4 turns. That's fine by me. Switch over to that. What we're doing at the moment is construction costs. Let's go for extra growth now, since that's what we're kind of waiting on over there. Oh dear, what happens there? Ah, it's starting to turn dark over here. Here's one of the things I like about how the game sort of reflects the faction a bit. Like, when you look here, like, Bretonnia, where we own it, is very bright, very vibrant, very chivalrous. And then as you go over then to, like, the Empire, it gets darker to suit them. And then it'll go to Vampire Hell territory like Sylvania down here. It's even worse then. And I just like how the campaign map reflects the faction that you play as. It's a very nice little touch, graphically.
I refuse.
Right, we'll still have to go after them at some point. We can keep that under control a bit.
Council.
You know what? Let's do this. Let's go back over to my territory. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to ask these units to be merged up as much as we can.
By the light of the
There we go, so now they're back up to full strength pretty much. We've got some units of these already, so let's go one of these, one of these. And... let's go for another unit. There we go, that should do. So we're going to have... We can't recruit any more cavalry for the... Actually, no, tell a lie. We might be able to get some cavalry pretty soon, depending on how Kurion is actually upgraded. Damn it, I might have just wasted that money for nothing now. But I think it was going to take 3 turns, and this will now be the 3rd turn, so... Yeah, we could actually get some more knight errants this turn. and that's going to be quite useful. I was talking to one of my younger brother who was watching the last video, and he was like, "Yo, you have to go back and watch that bit in the first battle when your knights charge in, because it says they just powered right through all those enemy units." And I still need to check that out, so thanks for mentioning that. Well, by this time you guys see this, you probably would have already done it. You have to do something while I'm waiting for the game to render after all. Bastion, Musalon. We will cleanse the land of the undead, don't you worry. But first of all, we've got Marienburg to deal with. Okay.
King Lewin Leoncoeur.
Alright, let's have a quick look. Yes, we cannot get knight errants. I'd rather get a couple of those right now, if I'm completely honest. So I'll tell you what, let's... we've got 2 units here. Let's drop... Let's go a bit risky. I'm going to drop 2 units of those men-at-arms I just recruited. So in order to get knight errants, and they are a core unit.
Your plan is a good one.
Very good. As a result now, that means I can get full armies of nothing but knights, should I want to. Okay, we'll keep that. Apparently my damsel needs to rank up. Now, the thing is, as I've been mentioned about trying to get a life mage. That would be very useful if I can get one of those. So, it might be an idea to eventually have... Let's go for this for a moment. To make Florence here to become more of a campaign map agent. So she's able to do stuff like, get rid of vampiric corruption, she'll be able to block armies and so forth. Rather than try and use in a battlefield sense. But for the moment, until I can actually upgrade that, she is my only agent I got. So I might as well just use it for the moment and that role. We could always swap her over, well, we could get a paladin as well now, can't we? Let's have a quick look. Okay, that's going to cost a bit more money than I've got, but let's have a look. Bonus versus large, vigilance, or confidence. Definitely looking to get one of these. Again, what I like to try and do is not to overpopulate agents usually, but I do see some YouTubers who go quite big for those sort of things. Like Sweal Believes in his videos, he often likes to use quite a number of heroes in his force. And it could be quite useful to do. I mean, we only have 2 options. We've got damsels and we've got paladins. So we do need to use them on the campaign map as well. They're very good at what they do in terms of assassinating enemy targets, breaking down walls, stealing technology, blocking armies and so forth, and assaulting units. So all very, very useful. And what's this? Carcassonne has declared war on the Dread Fleet. Where have the Dread Fleet landed for them to be bringing up like this? Carcassonne is right there. Interesting. Very interesting. So the Dread Fleet starts off down here on this side of the map, so it's on the sort of southwest part of Ufron. So we could... It's a bit of a surprise that that's going to happen, but then if the Dread Fleet's under, what's his name, Count Noctis, if I want to say? I haven't had, despite the fact I bought the DLC, I haven't really used them that much. This is military alliance, and you're willing to pay me? Sounds good to me. Bohemond is right next to him as well. He would make a nice addition as a legendary lord, courtesy of Mixu. Let's see. First of all, though, Marienburg has pulled back, and we've now got our knights errant. All noble sons of the realm are committed to the path of knighthood from the moment they are born. Though birth into nobility guarantees his place, a young noble is not honoured until he has proven his worth. Some earn status through faithful service to their lords, others through powerful family ties and connections. but the glorious and only true way for a young knight to fulfill his calling is to test himself out against the foe on the battlefield. So we've got these guys who are quite young. They're the lowest tier. Oh, the Great Warden teeters. Okay, so my spellcaster has extra power reserve and everything, but it's going to have some problems for casting. Spare mind. But yeah, these guys are quite the youngest people. Where are they? Here. These guys are quite the youngest ones out of the knights. They tend to be the ones who just need to prove themselves, so as a result they tend to be quite impetuous. So they do have a habit sometimes of ignoring orders. But as is there, they likely deal increased damage as a result. Now we're going to pull you guys back to Marienburg. They've got a full stack, looks like, headed my way. We'll see what we can have to do about those next turn, but I would put us against them quite nicely, in my opinion. I'll tell you what, would you be... We'll see if they're going to come to attack Marienburg. If they don't, then we'll probably just let them... We'll maybe stick my army out so they will feel tempted to attack. Or I may just attack them myself next time. We'll wait and see. Alright, we've got that done, so can we not upgrade this yet? No, it's going to cost 3,000. Alright, we'll make that next turn, so we'll wait for that then. Any more diplomacy we can engage in the meantime.
Lord of
That's done.
Welcome to fair Bretonnia.
Let's
Now
get
is the
that.
time to
Let's get
unite.
that.
All right.
Might as well improve our chances with them a bit. Focus on.
Fey Enchantress of Breton.
Lord,
Bordelot.
the laws of chivalry demand I hear you. Just so.
Okay, Midland. What about you
Greetings,
guys?
lords. I hope the lakes of Bretonnia.
Okay, that's good. We've got a peace, at least some of a chance of peace with them. Everyone else... Actually, did I just see that right? It looks like we're at war now with not only Marienburg, but just Norska and Skalin in general. And they're a lot more powerful. Well, they're not as powerful now that we've got my army back up to full strength. Definitely something we need to keep an eye on. Alright, let's save the money for the moment. And then we'll be upgrading Lair Gil next turn so we can get the farms done in order to get a bit more cash and get access to better archers. Right, but Marienburg first of all. Now, one handy thing about Gorsel, at least, is that it doesn't have a port. Because here's the thing, like, I think I mentioned about it before, earlier in the video. When it did I? No, I don't think I did, actually. Now, one of the more annoying things about the Bretonnian economy is that in order to really fully upgrade it, you need to have two buildings. If you've got a farm, you need to then have a mill before you can actually upgrade the farms anymore. And if you've got, I think it's the Weaving House, then if you go for that, then you have to get the, I think it's not a tap room, it's like a cellar or something like that. In order for us to, you need to get that before you can actually go in and then claim, get the higher tiers. Now, you can't have both of those in the same province or even the same region because if you go for industry, you start losing money on your farming and vice versa. But it does mean that if you want to build up your economy, you're going to have at least 2 building slots used up for that. Now, when you consider that the minor settlements can only have 3 at most, as well as the main settlement, it means if you do it like at Le Guil, for example, I can't build anything else there because I've got the port, and once I upgrade it, I've got no real choice then but to build a mill then in order for me to upgrade the fields and improve my economy that way. And even then, it's not going to be too much in the long run. But we still need to do it, so let's go for that right now. That's pretty much all my money gone. But as they've gone off this way, don't know what they're trying to do. I think they're trying to be sneaky and go around to attack Lengil. If that's the case, I'm going to be sneaky in return. I'm going to go after Gorsel and eliminate them when they've gone out. Now, we are unfortunately trespassing in friendly territory. I hope they don't mind all that much. But we're going to go for that and eliminate them from the campaign that way, I think. Right. Eventually we're going to upgrade this. Definitely going to get a Grail Shrine next time, just so we can start getting access to damsels. I remember looking through the Reddit section, and someone was commenting about how magic is not that useful. It was a very old post, admittedly. But it was talking about damsels and saying about, or magic in general, and they were saying, well, on the campaign, it won't be much point. You don't get magic users until like turn 80 or something. And I thought, what? How are you getting it that late? And other people commented that as well. I was just thinking, we're probably what, turn 12 or something like that, and as soon as we get access, then we'll probably get damsels available and other mages by probably like turn 25. How do you get them to turn 80? I mean, that's worrying if it takes that long. Alright, what's going on here? I can't really see through all this. We've got the Barrow Legion under probably Heinrich Kemmler is bringing a full stack towards Castle Artois. Marienburg is being sneaky off now. That's where they just bit off to. So yeah, they tried to take the long way around in order to attack Langille while we're over here. So they were too cowardly to try and face us in open battle. They want to try and sneak around and attack my territory. But if we can go after Gorcel and take it, that may eliminate them from the campaign because they're not in their home province. And really not in a position to try and do it. Oh no, it doesn't work like that, does it? Crap. It just remembered, it doesn't work like that. How it works is that they start taking attrition until they take a new territory. So, in a way, there's no point in me upgrading Langille because they're going to be able to take it next turn. Let's have a look. Yeah, you guys are going to take it next turn, aren't you? So, I tell you what, let's cancel that. Can we dismantle this? We cannot. Okay, let's go for this. We'll take this off them at the very least. There we go, nice and easy, order resolve. We could actually subjugate them. I must admit that is tempting because I don't particularly care to keep Gorcel, it's just going to be an annoyance to try and hold. So yeah, let's subjugate them. There we go, that's brought them out of there. So they do have their full stack over here now, but they're now allied to me. So with that, let's pull back. We'll go across the coast here, I think, and we'll head over towards my force. We're marching back towards Corian, I think. Yeah, it won't matter which way we go. But there we go, that's Marienburg defeated, nice and easy. And with that bit of income, we can now upgrade Ooh. Yeah, let's do that. I'm upgrading Corian now to that. A much better choice in my opinion. And if we get tier 3, we can get men-at-arms, Gusaro, Countryman, men-at-arms, Poleman, Peasant Arrows. Yeah, nice. Shipwreck Code has now been upgraded as well. What can we go for now? Well, at the moment, none of these really sort of catch my fancy in terms of like which ones to go for. Going something after Orcs maybe could be useful. I mean, that will be a requirement once we head down, if we go down towards the Badlands. Because that immunity to barren wasteland attrition is going to be very, very useful. I mean, immune to snow attrition, that would be great if we go after Norska. Not so much a thing. Did I see it? Hang on. Did I read that right? We can't get complete immunity to vampiric corruption, which, to be fair, right, it's a magical corruption rather than anything just to do with the territory. But if we recruit Death's Grip Decree, that obviously helps out against the vampire counts, but it gives me 25% casualty reduction from vampiric territory. I'm going for the High Seas one, which does the same for vampire coasts. Gives me the same as well, so between these two, if we really want to go after the undead, we can get a minus 50% attrition cost for doing that. Interesting. Right, in the meantime, what else can we go for? We can go for a whole 2% income from farms. Oh my god. Elm's House for an extra growth. Now, we're going to focus now on trying to get some of these back. So, we don't need to worry too much about Lyonesse, but I think going after Artois will probably be a good start. Baston will be interesting as well as Paravon. We'll probably just work on this side of the tree for the most part. Because there's no point really going after these right away. There's not really that much of an improvement. That might be 5%. I mean, that's just infantry units there. Water pumps for the extra units. We will research that eventually. But for now, let's just continue working our way down here, I think. Right, that's that. You're making your way back. Let's upgrade Leon Kerr. And let me see. Let's go for the Crown of Bretonnia, just to give you my entire army a bit of extra leadership. Footsquires, Mounted Yeoman, extra charge bowman and weapon strength. That sounds good. Now let's make you even better in combat than you've been so far. Let's go for full plates, just to make you even harder to be defeated. Okay, commandments available now that we've captured this. Oh, technically it's counted Marienburg as me occupying it, so in terms of this, so we can actually get... Okay, growth. We don't need to worry too much about growth. We make a fair bit of money from Marienburg. Let's just go from control and eliminate the public order issue that we've got here right now. It's probably the best option in the short term. Okay, how are we are for this? Any improvements?
No evildoer, the lady grants you her blessings, and dark are these times.
No? Well, it's worth a try.
Greetings from
Bretonnia, Empire, how you doing? You could be better, but at least you got 5 settlements. That's something.
Protector of the realm.
Artois, you've been... Oh, you've been defeated, have you? Oh, God. Alright, Baston, you're going to have to try and do the best we can, but we've now got an undead problem we need to deal with. So we've got 2 options. We can either go after Castle Artois in order to claim it back from the Barrow Legion, or start heading down towards the coast in order to take Lyonesse and eventually go after Mucilon. We still need to go after Blackstone Post at some point. I mean, they've got a few units in their garrison, but that's the main source of vampiric corruption. If we can take that, then eventually we can go back after Grand Zint in order to recolonize it.
Lord of Bretonnia.
So many options.
King of Bretonnia.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Let's end the turn. And as we go through the end turn phase, I'm going to put it to you guys. For those of you watching, what do you think? Who should I go after next? On the one hand, we've got the Barrow Legion, who have now taken Castle Artois. They're actually one of the closest enemy armies, I would say, in terms of, like, I don't want the undead to be around near my territory of northern Bretonnia. And if we go after them, we can eliminate their main force and go after Blackstone Pass pretty easily. Or we can go after Mucilon to the coast. Go after Lyonesse first, capture that, and then we can focus then on Mucilon. Now, in both cases, we're going to have to fight the undead, which, to be fair, at least they're going to have worse units than I am, in terms of what they generally have. But we're going to have to deal with the fact that they will take ages to kill. But both of them are equally good targets. Mucilon has always been there for a while, but I would consider perhaps Heinrich Kemmler to be a bit more of an immediate threat, so to speak, because of the fact that he's a newcomer and he's already caused trouble in the past, whereas Mucilon has always tended to be quite... just keep themselves to themselves, so to speak. But let me know in the comments, what do you think I should be doing next, and what would you like me to do next? And we'll go from there. Once we've eliminated them, then we can continue pushing down south. Thanks to our research, we'll have to see about confederating with different factions along the way. And see what happens. But that's all going to happen in the next episode. So hope you enjoyed today's one. I know we didn't have much in the way of battles, but we should be making up for that next time once we've dealt with people like Heinrich here. But until then, take care and goodbye for now.